Hey everyone! So I'm here today to do a demonstration on eyeshadow palette number 2 today. I'm going to be using our angled shadow brush with a sponge on one side and a angled shadow brush on the other side. This is a fabulous tool to use on our eyeshadow palette. Eyeshadow palette number 2 comes with some really beautiful silver and gray shades. It's got a brassy color, a brown color. It's also got a dark, almost black charcoal color. So there's a lot of variety that you can do with different looks. And I've already done one look on this eye here. I'm going to duplicate it and show you how I did it on this eye. So I've already done most of my other makeup. So I'm going to do just the eye. I'm going to do some eyeliner and mascara today as well. So I am going to be starting with my angled shadow side here. And I'm going to go with the color Honorable. It's a light gray. And I'm just going to be getting a little bit on my brush here. And the nice angle allows you to go into the crease area of your eye. So I'm just going to go in a sweepy motion back and forth. Honorable is a nice color to put in the crease because it's not too dark, but it gives some dimension. And that's what you want to do in your creases. You want to give some dimension to the eye and not make it look like just one color. By giving dimension to the eye, it makes the eye look more open, appear more awake, and it just overall gives a nice, good symmetry to the face. Alright, so I'm just brushing that back and forth in that nice sweeping motion. Next I'm going to take color Perplexed. It's a dark gray color, and what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to be going in the outer section here of my lid. Not really going too much into the crease, just mostly staying on the outer edge. You can go a little into the crease if you want. And again, this just gives this area of the eye a little bit more dimension, opens it up by creating that darker shadow at the end there. Then next I'm going to take the sponge part of the tool and I'm going to come over to color Hopeless. This last color here. This is kind of a cross between Perplexed and the lightest shade Romantic. It's kind of an in-between in color. So I'm just going to take some of that color onto my sponge and I'm going to go over the lid, the whole lid. And when you're using the sponge part, you don't want to drag it. You want to more or less just pat. So when you get it onto your brush, you just kind of pat it into, and that's going to help it go on better, more smoothly. Don't rub it when you're using the sponge section. Then I'm going to take color Romantic, which is the lightest color. I'm going to get some on my other side of my sponge here. And I'm going to go more in the inner part of the eye here. You want to do a lighter shade into the inner. That helps open and warm up the eyes a little bit more. So again, I'm just kind of pressing that in. And I'm going to go a little bit into the inner tear duct there. That just highlights the eye. Then I'm also going to take it and I'm going to run it along the brow, right underneath the brow bone. Adding a highlighter, a lighter color up here, just makes the eyes look a little bit more open, gives more dimension again to the eyes. So all of this is part of giving more dimension, making the eyes look more awake, more brighter, just more pop ability. They just pop and just look more pronounced, I guess you could say. Okay, so lastly what I'm going to do is I'm going to take color Blissful. It's got a little bit of a, maybe a gold or a bronzy cast to it. I'm going to take a little bit of that and I'm going to go right in the center. And I'm just going to pat a little bit of that on. That's just going to brighten up right in the center there. And I'm going to take a little bit and put it right in the corner there. That will open the eye up a little bit more. So lastly what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the shadow part of the brush, and I'm just going to lightly feather and blend when I'm done. You don't want to have any harsh edges when you're applying your shadows. You don't want a drastic line or anything. You want to look like they just kind of blend from one color to the next. Looks like I'm going to put just a little bit more there. There we go. I'm going to just clean off my brush a little bit. There we go. Alright, so that's it for the shadows. Pretty simple. It does take a little practice to get used to how the shadows work with your eyes. I have a really pronounced larger section of lid. Some people have a very small area of lid. If that's the case, you just use the same momentum that I did, but you use just a little smaller section. So if you don't have as wide area there, your crease is going to be a little smaller than mine is. And you can, if you have kind of a hooded brown, it's real small, you can go up until the brow bone, and that'll give it a little bit more dimension there. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using our eyeliner in Color Perfect. It is black. It is a pencil liner. And I'm going to be showing you how to apply on the top here. I'll start there. Okay, I'm using my camera as my mirror, so just bear with me. What you want to do is I like to brace my hand onto my cheek and I work in a downward motion. If you go at it like this, you'll end up creating a gap between your lid and the liner. So if you're working downward and working into the lash line, it will help make the transition of where the liner meets your eyelashes look one straight line. It doesn't look like there's a gap in there. So you just kind of glide your pencil, and I'm going to close my eyes and do this a little bit, into your lash line. And you can just feel it too. You can feel when you're right at the lash line. All right. And again, I am using my phone as my mirror. So it makes it a little trickier because I don't get quite the view. And come out to the edge here. I like to come out just a little bit and create a little bit of a wing look. All right, I'm going to use my mirror. Sorry guys. You can still tell what I'm doing though. The phone is just not my friend when it comes to doing eyeliner. It's kind of tricky. And you just glide into the lash line. And I kind of go back and forth with it. I don't necessarily go this way or this way. I kind of do a little both. And I'm going out just a little bit. And pencils can be a little bit more forgiving than liquid liner because it's got a soft, not a hard look to it. And then I don't normally do my bottom because I got smaller eyes and it tends to make your eyes look smaller if you go to black all the way in. So I'm just going to do just a little bit in the lash line on the bottom. And again, this time you want to go upward and into the lash line. So just going to do a little bit. I'm going to do maybe about a third of the way in and stop there. And actually what I'm going to do too is I'm going to go back to my eyeshadow palette. I'm going to take that kind of goldish color again, the Blissful. Get a little on there. And I'm going to just go along my lash line there as well. Just warms it up some. Okay, and lastly, I'm going to do my 3D Fiber Mascara. So, and this video is running a little long, so I'll be quick. All right, so take your gel and just coat your lashes like you normally do. You'll see here. Get a nice good coating. And once you've got a nice good coating on all your lashes, so this of course is your first step. And if you saw before, I didn't tell you guys, I keep my tubes in my bra beforehand. I like to warm up my gel especially. A nice smooth warm gel just applies so much better. Alright, so we have gel. Next step, fibers, smaller tube. Little fuzzy guys. If they seem to be a little extra wiry, I just kind of roll them on the back of my hand so I don't get too much fuzz coming off, because that's where it'll tend to look a little clumpy, as if you're applying it and you got a lot of funky fuzzes coming off. Alright, so I got my fibers on there. And this is buildable, so you can do your fibers and then last you follow up with your gel. And then if you want to do more fibers again, you can. Okay. So next I would do my gel, just to seal it. Since we're kind of running long on time here, I'm not going to do that. You guys get the gist. So that was just my demonstration of some of our products today. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks. Bye.